Put it in five, I'll be outside, I'll be on the way. I'll be on the way, and you can meet me in five. I'll be on nine, I'll be on all day. I'll be on all day. Drop top the Porsche, put that bitch in sport out here in the field, oh yeah. I'm already, yeah. Come outside looking like a snack. Hurry up, get in, hell yeah. Come with me on this mission. Riding down the coast, I want up for sure. You said play Khalid, I said pass the weed.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Kyle Daly. I'm here with David Dye, and this is the Daily Fantasy Stack. David, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? It's been a long time. But I'm glad to be back. It's good to see you.
I'm glad to be back too. I know.
Yeah,
good to see another
glad you're
human
healthy.
being.
Glad you're still. Well, it's football time. Let's. Do you feel that? You feel that in there? It's football.
I know. What's been longer, COVID or the off season?
Oh, this COVID. COVID just seems like it makes time go by so slow. Like the last 2 years have just felt like 4.
But DFS is the cure for that, you know?
Yeah. And it's supposed to be bigger than now than ever. It's supposed to be bigger than ever. Since everyone's just gonna be sent home, nothing else to fucking do.
Are you raising your stakes this year? What kind of stakes are you playing?
I mean, I'm just doing my normal stuff because I don't like to put too much of my income. I don't want to risk my savings on this. You know, it's like not right now because I have a job. I mean, I'm just doing what I always do. Just doing what I always do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm freelancing now. I used to have a full-time gig, but now I've got this really flexible schedule, so I'll be playing a little bit more this season. And I'm working for a DFS site.
Really?
Just as a designer, and I'm pretty excited about this season. I'm rolling over last year's bankroll, so it should be pretty good stakes, and I'm excited to play in some single entry stuff, some 20 max. And I'm not really a 150 guy, but I think most of what we talk about today would be like single entry 20 max. Am I right?
I mean, I like doing the Millie Maker. I mean, we're just looking for stacks, like that. Like every lineup we have needs to have a stack, right? Like, is that how you roll with your lineups? There's got to be a stack.
Absolutely, especially in the single entry and like smaller field tournament stuff. I'm absolutely stacking, and I mean stacking. Defined here really would be quarterback plus receiver at least. That's the minimum.
There are other stacks as well, like defense and pounder running back. All right, well, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. First game, Russell Wilson versus Carson Wentz.
I see you have Lockett marked down here. Is he your favorite play?
I just wrote that just because, I mean, we were looking at his matchup against Kenny Moore kind of jumps out in the slot. So right now, what are you thinking for Tyler Lockett? Like, okay, so that high DLRAT was because Kenny Moore, he had a game against Kiki Kuti, who comps to Tyler Lockett a lot. He's been burned by Kiki Kuti twice over the last 2 years. Kiki Kuti's played 4 games, and in 2 of those games he just burned Kenny Moore. So I mean, if Kiki Kuti can burn Kenny Moore, then I think Tyler Lockett can too. So we got to kind of look there. I think Tyler Lockett's pretty much locked for a touchdown here. I mean,
yeah. There's some more defense narrative stuff with Lockett that is in his favor. He was the second highest receiver in yards generated in cover 2 against cover 2 defenses last season. He's a guy who can just kind of eat underneath with DK, clearing out on the boundary.
Yeah, I mean, I still like DK this week. I think he'll get like a touchdown and just have a pretty good game. But I really like Tyler Lockett in the slot here. So the
Is this?
stack would be Lockett. Yeah.
I mean, this game is, I think it sets up as one of the higher totals on the week, too. I think it's 49 and a half. I think that people are kind of gravitating towards Michael Pittman Jr., with T.Y. Hilton out. I think it's pretty clear he's the number one there. We haven't seen Campbell play healthy in a while. So I think, I mean, talk about a condensed target share. People are just going to gravitate to Pittman on volume, let alone the efficiency of or the high scoring of this game.
Like I already looked at Pittman, and he didn't really interest me that much. Here I just think Trey Flowers. I mean, so if you look at, he's played a receiver like Michael Pittman. We're looking for X receivers. Miles Boykin. Oh, that's a pretty good game for Miles Boykin, I guess. I mean, that's the history you got on this guy. So you're going to bank on that happening. Like, yeah, I mean, looking at that, I kind of like that. Because if Michael Pittman sees like 24% of the targets, then he's definitely coming. He might be on like a Corey Davis level cheap this week, Like,
yeah.
So if he's coming like,
they don't even really have a tight end.
I think you got to be looking at Pittman as, he's definitely a good find on that one. And that's why we do this, Kyle, so we can find stuff like Pittman. Like, remember we basically talked ourselves into John Ross like 2 years ago. We had no idea. When we just started going through the game, it was like John Ross.
The difference between John Ross, that year. I mean, I love that pick for us because we found the game we wanted. It was a shootout. It was Cincy in Seattle, and here we are talking about Seattle again, week one. But the thing with John Ross is that he's just got that speed to take these deep, and that's how he succeeded in that game. I think he had 3 deep receptions, 2 of them were for touchdowns, and he was only like 0.5% owned, and he was a total smash in tournaments. The thing with Pittman though is that I don't think he's going to be like nobody's sleeping on.
No, he hasn't been hyped at all as a second-year breakout.
I mean, not as much because of the Wentz injury there for a minute.
And because it's
down
Wentz.
on him. Yeah, and because it's just Wentz in general.
But
I think he's going to carry some ownership.
Mm-hmm. But Corey Davis it's really going to be deciding between Pittman and Corey Davis. But I think you need to have those two in a lineup together as well. Like, be sure to have like one lineup where there's Pittman and Corey Davis, because they're just both such good value at how much they cost.
There's so many good receiver values this week.
Yeah, I mean, it really is like these are just numbers. You just need to find the right combination of like roles for your team, your lineup. Basically, you need to have that stack. You need to have like the safe wide receiver 1 play that's under 5K. I mean, okay, so right now when you're stacking this game, you probably need to go. I would go would you go the Russ side?
Absolutely. I see no upside in Wentz,
get a
really.
Touchdown on the other side for the Colts.
Yeah, I see that too. They have a little bit more emphasis there on the run.
So
Russ just has a higher
Hines
ceiling.
Taylor in that stack.
If you're playing it, Lockett, Russ, I think I would go Hines.
Because you're planning on a shootout happening, and Taylor wouldn't stay in as much.
Yeah, I think that it's Seattle, but on the road. I don't know. That's a tough call. It might be Taylor, no Pittman, right? Like, I would not play Taylor.
I was looking at Hines, and I don't think what do you think his ceiling could be? Like,
I mean, he can get 40% of the snaps and, a 15% target share.
And we've seen him score like 2 touchdowns before in this spot. And I mean, for touchdowns, I like the running backs here getting the touchdowns.
Yeah, I wish he was a little cheaper.
I don't really like Pittman. His
He's
touchdown
5K.
value isn't that great. So you do need to consider that as well. His touchdown value isn't that great.
Yeah, I think I would play at Russ Lockett, and then if I was
Yeah, it's
forced to
played by
you,
ear. Maybe there's
I
somebody else.
would play Hines.
Yeah, let's move on to the next game. We already figured out what we're gonna do there. Well, let's move on to the next game. Who's the next game we got? Oh
I
God.
believe we want to talk the Jags.
I mean, I like Chenault a
This
lot
is
this year.
awful.
I like Chenault a lot this year. So,
Yeah, me too.
So I think you gotta go Chenault. With your T-Law stack, because you gotta have at least one T-Law stack. I mean, he's playing the Texans defense, so
Yeah, I think James Robinson is interesting for the same reason.
This chart, look at who this chart likes. Fucking James O. Thinking about James O this week. I mean,
it's a nice.
seeing like 90% of the snaps. The ball's gonna be. I mean, and like Lonnie Johnson, he's given up big games before to tight ends that are comp to James O'Shaughnessy. James O.
Only
You
in
need
a
to go
game
that
stack.
cheap, though.
Trevor
You need to go
Lawrence.
that cheap this week. I
Yeah.
don't feel like you need to go that cheap.
Well, I think it can unlock some potential for your lineup construction that way. I actually think it's
the
pretty
upside
smart.
on a player that cheap.
You don't need him to be much. I mean, if he catches a touchdown, he's already paid off, right?
Yeah.
Like he gets 8 points almost immediately. That's close to 4x value. And then what you can do with that is unlock, a higher price receiver possibly, because a lot of people are going to be on the low.
You can move from
low
Michael Pittman to some of the wide receivers that like I've been looking at. Let's see, you can move from Michael Pittman to Keenan Allen. He's gonna get his. I like Deebo Samuel this week, but I mean he's still pretty expensive.
I would only
Alright.
do Shaughnessy in a Trevor Lawrence stack though. And I would want to have one of those receivers. How do we pick?
This is your
between-
tight end. It's such a
Tight end can be a crapshoot. I mean, but who do you play at receiver there? Visca, Chark, or Marvin Jones?
Well, see, the thing is, Chark, I think Terrence Mitchell is going to be on Marvin Jones, which makes me not want to play Marvin Jones because Marvin Jones' history against, Terrence Mitchell's their number one corner, and he's going to be on him. So, Chark, the whole thing about Chark is he's got a broken hand. Has a receiver ever had a broken hand and just played the whole season? What happens in this situation? Can he catch still? Is he just making one-handed catches?
He's been practicing. I don't know if that means anything to
Is
you.
he there just for blocking or as a decoy? Is that his role this year to be the decoy with the speed, true decoy?
So sell me on Visca then, because that sounds like where we're landing.
All right, so Visca, week 17 last season, the Jaguars played A.J. Brown. I don't know if you remember this, but A.J. Brown, last minute, they get the ball at the 40-yard line, and they just tossed it to A.J. Brown 2 times for a touchdown. So, wide receivers like that have been a problem against the Texans. Case in point, that's how their season ended last season. And I just like Chenault this year. I feel like if anybody is going to be that person who scores a touchdown for the Jags, it's going to be Chenault in the slot, not like James Robinson or some. I just feel like it's going to be Chenault.
This is one of those games where, say you stack T-Law, Chenault, and O'Shaughnessy. Maybe I don't even bring it back with a Texan.
Oh yeah, you're not because there's no. I mean, David Johnson maybe, but he's too expensive. They got him too pricey this week, so no David Johnson this week. I mean, David Johnson still got it. I don't know what's up with it with the Texans situation, but that's something for, I guess, everybody to figure out as the season goes. All right, so yeah, I think we move on from this game.
Yeah, no bringbacks. Don't play these guys.
Next
Quez.
game, oh yeah, this is the dude we want to talk about, Quez Watkins. I mean, I like Devontae Smith this
Philly?
week. I do.
Philly
But,
at Atlanta, right?
Who's Quez Watkins?
Well, as an Eagles fan, I can tell you he is last year's, I believe, 4th round draft selection. Maybe he was even a 6th round draft selection. They took a couple flyers on some guys there, and he's fast. Like, he's just a burner. He's not that big, but he runs like a 4.3, and they just wanted to get some speed, and he had a really good camp, and he outperformed, Travis Fulgham, Greg Ward, and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and now he's their starting third receiver. He kind of profiles as like a bit of a hybrid outside slot type. I think with his speed, they probably line him up outside more.
No one's
I
going to
love
catch
in the
him.
slot.
79 yards for the touchdown.
Because yeah, you could like see his speed, and you're just like, whoa, that guy's.
All right, he's going to just drop back. He's going to get good blocks. Rodgers, good block. But watch 21 right here. I mean, goodness, Quez. 21 has a family. I mean, he just ran away from that guy like he was slow. That is serious, serious speed. Terrific blocks.
Fast.
Yeah, it's elite speed.
They'll
for
be
sure.
running him out the slot. Like, what do you think his slot rate will be at? Since this is his projection when it was back at like 28%, snap share. Like, what do you think his snap share is going to get up to?
His total snap share, I see it like maybe in the 60-70% range. I'm afraid that they're really going to rotate receivers here. Like, Nick Sirianni did it.
Okay, let's just say it goes up to like your lowest case scenario was 60, which I mean that was higher than my scenario. I was thinking like 50 because I was thinking Ertz would get like 30, and then like actually, do you think Greg Ward would get any? I think this is just one of the games where Greg Ward just doesn't get anything.
I'm really curious to see what they actually do. I think that they rotate receivers, and Greg Ward showed some chemistry with Hurts last season. Like, I kind of anticipate the Eagles doing something silly like that. Like, they're just not going to have a solid condensed like snap share and route share. I'm afraid of that.
Let's just say that since I got him projected for 50%, and then at a 12% target share. I mean, you're already looking at pretty good value because realistically, he just needs to catch 2 passes for you to get hit value here. He needs to catch 2 passes because if he can catch 2 passes, he's taking one of those to the house against the Falcons.
Yeah, he's this year's John Ross, man.
So, I mean,
it's not
you do what you want. What you want.
It's a bet on efficiency. It's not a bet on volume at all. You're just hoping that he's on the field, he flashed, he showed some stuff that was pretty special.
And I can tell you, this guy, he's good at football. Like, he can run routes. Like, he is, I mean.
He's also a great, like, second-year breakout type candidate, Like we like receivers.
All, like, summer training with probably the best type of, like, the best for what he can become in the NFL was Calvin Ridley. And he spent the whole summer training with Calvin Ridley. So, I mean, in terms of narrative, he's got a pretty good narrative going. In terms of, like, he went and found the person that was, like, basically the pinnacle of what he can be as a, like, in terms of skill, and he just went and learned from him for a summer. So,
yeah, I would also want to be early on him too. I mean, we really do like to target the second-year wide receiver breakouts, and people forget because he was such a late-round draft pick. They don't really remember that he was a a draft pick by the Eagles last season. But this happens, wide receivers can take a little time to develop. He's sort of right in the cusp of potentially breaking out. So it'd be good to get on him early before his price starts to shoot up.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I also like Devontae Smith. So with your Hurts stacks, bring it back with Devontae Smith. I mean, I like Quez Watkins a little bit more, but that's just.
They're also cheap. It's crazy.
And of course, Calvin Ridley. You got to bring him back, Calvin Ridley.
He is the only guy on the Falcons I would want to play.
So Calvin Ridley.
I mean, Russell Gage has a floor, but I don't know if he's worth playing. I don't think he has the upside in this situation.
For 5,300 though.
Is that his price? Are you talking?
Yeah, that there's not enough upside
Oh
there.
my god. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
stay away. I didn't realize he was that much.
I mean, there's probably somebody else for around that range that's a little better of a play that I would go with. All right, so that's probably. Oh yeah, Kyle Pitts. What are you doing about Kyle Pitts here? Like, I think don't look at his number. Like, it's not right.
On the spreadsheet?
Yeah, don't look at that number. It's not right. So just ignore that number. We'll just like it's not saying I'm not telling you to not play Pitts. Play Pitts this week.
Yeah, I think that's a fine bring back too. I couldn't choose between Ridley and Pitts. I mean, it depends on your build. Would you play Matt Ryan? Do you have any interest in him at all?
I think I lost interest in Matt Ryan 4 years ago.
Yeah, he has no rushing upside.
I mean, he can throw a bunch of picks. Like, he can throw a lot of picks.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a bad thing, but I don't really want to play the tight end in the bringback. So if I was playing Hurts, Watkins, I don't think I would play Pitts. I'd be really inclined to play Ridley in that situation. But I do think Pitts, we just don't know what he is. It's a good bet because nobody knows really what to expect. I mean, he could come out of the gate and just blow the doors off this thing.
Well, he has a Darren Waller ceiling, and he's got a Waller ceiling and he costs Hunter Henry. So it's definitely a risk worth taking.
Yeah.
At
I think I would choose between them. At
4,400, I mean, Kyle Pitts, his ceiling could be Darren Waller, and that's 30 points. That's. So I would go. I mean, I'm really going for a huge game here. So yeah, I don't know if you want to there comes a point where you're stacking it too much. You're literally getting all the value from this game when you should be trying to get value from other games as well, when it comes to the stack. So maybe there's value somewhere. If somebody's going to go off, it's going to be Calvin Ridley. I don't think it's going to be Kyle Pitts. I mean, it's really one of those two are probably going to go off, right?
Yeah. I would just alternate. If I was making two lineups, I would do.
Both, but yeah.
Yeah. I would do in a 3-max. I would do the Hurts stack with Ridley, and then another one the Hurts stack with Pitts.
Yeah, depending on what type of tournament you're playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
let's
how
move
I
on
would
next.
approach it.
Let's skip the Chargers. I got nothing right now. Do you have anything on the Chargers?
No, not really.
I mean, I have play Eckler, and I have Keenan Allen and Eckler as safe plays.
I like Eckler because people are probably going to get a little scared off of him with the uncertainty around the injury. So he's going to come with a good value, ownership
There's
discount.
Uncertainty about an injury with Eckler?
Yeah, he's got a little hammy.
All right, so then Redskins, I'm not really looking at any of the wide receivers. Logan Thomas or Kyle Pitts. That's going to be
Kyle Pitts.
I think I would, yeah. So Kyle Pitts is the move there. I mean,
Only
Logan Thomas
because
has got Derwin James on him.
the game environment is so much better too. I mean, it's Chargers against the Washington football team, the total is like 43. Like Eagles, Falcons. There's another touchdown on the Vegas line. Like the game environment, and it's going to be kind of a slow-paced game. I mean, it's all Pitts for me if you were going to choose between them.
All right. Well, then that saves me a little headache. Thanks for that. Okay. Steelers and Bills. Well, how much time we got? We got 12 minutes. Let's jump to a game that we're actually interested in.
Okay.
Chiefs Browns.
Everyone's interested in this game.
Oh, or the Saints Packers.
Saints Packers. Let's do both. I think we have time.
All right. Okay. Let's do that, and then we'll call it.
All right. Because we talked about Watkins last year, and he went nuts week 1.
Yeah, he was the other guy. So yeah, I mean, be sure to have some of. I mean, I haven't found a Watkins though. Maybe like
no, someone on this Chiefs team though. I mean, has the potential. Like Mecole Hardman.
I mean, let's like
he's not a great price. I mean, there are so many like sub 4K receivers that I'm.
Yeah, this is the game where I'm thinking fade here, just because. I mean, Travis Kelce, I don't really like him that much. So remember Travis Kelce? This was part of the reasoning why we liked Sammy Watkins so much 2 years ago, was because Travis Kelce was going to see Ronnie Harrison, and now he's going to see Ronnie Harrison again 2 years later. I mean, I think Tyreek, you got to have some Tyreek and Mahomes just because.
Oh, of course.
I mean, number one receiver and number one quarterback, you've got to have some of that. Bring it back with, I mean, like, do you bring it back with both Chubb and Kareem Hunt? To just be really contrarian because nobody's going to be on Chubb.
I want to do both running backs. I think the game script will allow one of them to succeed over the other.
Dictates Kareem Hunt, but like, what have we learned? Like, in that something can be scripted perfectly for Kareem Hunt, and that shit doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it makes you want to play Chubb, doesn't it? I mean, best rusher in the league.
Yeah,
this guy is not so good.
And he's gonna be on like less than 1% ownership for Chubb behind. I mean, it's gonna be the contrarian play. I feel just because everyone's gonna be thinking it's gonna be like a shootout game. Browns aren't gonna be able to like pound it out, and that they think that that's what Chubb is for.
Yeah, you just take the other side of this line, right? It's like KC 30, Cleveland 24. All you have to do is say, I'm flipping that. I think Cleveland is actually going to be the one leading this game. Mahomes is playing from behind. And then that's the Tyreek Chubb.
Yeah,
Mahomes.
and then how cheap are the Browns' defense? For Garrett and Clowney? Do you think that's going to be a good partnership?
I mean, I don't think Clowney's that much of a difference maker anymore, but Garrett can still wreck games.
Yeah, he's a difference maker for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be the running back stack that, I mean, maybe that's a stack, and then bring it back. I mean, you got to have Tyreek and Mahomes in it.
Yeah, I mean,
just play all the number ones.
Start all your lineups that way.
Okay, what about Kelce, though? Are you touching him here? 8,300? He costs the same as Tyreek.
You literally can't play them together because they're so expensive. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I mean, OBJ, maybe. I mean, you look at if the Browns were to keep this a game, like, I don't know who would be the dude. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu might be out, so maybe it'd be Jarvis Landry.
I like Jarvis.
That's
I mean,
an injury to watch.
Yeah.
Let's
Jarvis
see what
is
happens.
kind of pricey. Odell's the better price there. And I think that, well, no, people are going to play Odell because it's Odell.
Yeah, I mean, Chubb's going to be the contrarian play on that.
Yeah. Do you like any of the matchups for the Browns?
I haven't looked too much into it, but like, let's just look at OBJ's matchup real quick, okay? So he's going to be matched up against. You think? Who do you think their number one? Who do you think their number one corner is? For the Chiefs.
It in the cheat. Could not tell you.
All right, so Shavarius Ward, Sneed, both of them are fast corners. What I classify as fast corners. I think they're pretty much like the same dude, actually. Let's see. All right. So those are Shavarius Ward's metrics, and then where's the other dude? Sneed.
Legarius Sneed.
They're both like that. So we're looking for any time like OBJ may have seen a corner like that with like elite speed. Here. He burned William Jackson for a touchdown last season. So yeah, OBJ. If he gets a touchdown, he's pretty much paid it off, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's at the right price too.
Yeah, so OBJ, but would it be OBJ or Chubb? I don't think you can roll with them both. I think you gotta go with one of them.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the touchdown equity goes down, the more touchdowns Chubb scores.
So, but if you look at it, like, I mean, he got the best of William Jackson last time, but the time he faced before that, William Jackson got the best of OBJ. So, I mean, it's really 50-50. It's a toss-up. His matchup is a toss-up. It's not like just a slam dunk, like, great matchup here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just leaning more towards the running backs. And I also think flipping the script, just saying Cleveland's going to be the favorite, they'll have ball control, is going to be contrarian to the field because everybody wants to play KC as these home favorites.
Yeah, and you're basically just playing that story. You're playing that story.
You have to, and it gives you leverage on the field immediately.
All right, well, that's definitely a nice input on that game. Let's move on to the last game that we got time for. I got this as the Ty Montgomery revenge game. What do you think?
I don't think he's going to play, do you?
Yeah, I think he's going to play at least like half the snaps.
No.
Think about who they got. Trey Smith's not practicing. They got Marcus. No, he's not. He was. They told him to play wide receiver this year, so he went and played So he went and just trained as a receiver off season.
But he's still listed as an RB on.
Dude, I think it's a time on game. I think it's a time on revenge game. How fitting would it be? If? Okay, so you want to talk about flipping the script? How about this? Flipping the script so that Aaron Rodgers comes over there and Ty Montgomery completely shows him up. How contrarian would that be?
Too contrarian. That's how far we've gone.
Okay, so
that's way too far.
Crazy of a story.
Yeah, I think so. The problem is though, like if he was a wide receiver on DraftKings, like I might consider, I'd entertain the idea, but there are like 3K receivers with a better target projection than Tymon has, and he's 4K because he's got the RB floor salary. So I mean, I am just not into that.
Yeah, they need to change. They need to get that fixed ASAP. There is no reason for him to be at 4K.
I know they just did that because the RB floor is like anytime a guy got injured, I've got this 3K running back that's now going to be like 80% snap share. So they raised the floor on RBs, which is kind of annoying.
Oh, they need to update his position to wide receiver because that's what he is this season.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure they will.
I mean, but his narrative is Marquez Callaway. Say he gets locked up by Jair Alexander. Okay, who's James going to throw to? It's going to be Kamara. Okay, so yeah. Okay, let's just go ahead and pencil Kamara in for a bunch of volume because that's probably like, yeah, he's been getting a bunch of volume, but I mean, the only other running back is Tony Jones. He's probably not going to see any time. So Kamara is probably at what, 90% snap share?
Yeah, 80, 90. It's kind of what I expect.
Yeah, and then for their three wide receiver sets, it's either going to be Deontay Harris or Ty Montgomery in the slot, and that person's going to see like 50% of the reps because they only have one healthy tight end right now. Because
you don't think Traquan plays at all?
If Traquan doesn't play, then Ty Montgomery, he's been running routes on the outside during preseason and been catching passes all preseason. So they're probably going to have him running out there as the Z. He's going to be in the slot too. I mean, because it's him or Deontay Harris in the slot. So if Deontay Harris gets injured, then it's all time on.
What do you think about Juwan Johnson?
Oh, that is interesting right there.
He's listed as a wide receiver on draft.
Because we're trying to find somebody to bring this back with, you know? Like, if you're playing Devontae Adams or any of the Aaron Rodgers, you probably want to bring it back. Juwan Johnson. I mean, what type of player is he?
He's like a big receiver. He's actually converted like tight end. Or no, sorry.
Yeah, I got him as like
an
wide receiver. Like, I got him comped to like Michael Pittman.
Yeah, he's bigger than Pittman. But
yeah,
I mean, he's supposed to be playing tight end for them. But he's still listed as a receiver.
So you think he's going to be getting all the run? Oh, he might be the play then.
Yeah, I see him maybe as like.
Oh, but he's at wide receiver, right?
Yeah, I know.
They still haven't caught up with his position either.
But that's my point, though. He's 3K with the receiver floor versus Tymont at 4K because of the RB floor.
So yep. So it's not Tymont week until they get that fixed. You kind of have to go Juwan Johnson in that situation, even though it would be brilliant just seeing Ty Montgomery show up Aaron Rodgers this weekend. It's probably not going to happen, though.
It's wishful
who do you think's going to win that one, though? Kamara or Aaron Rodgers?
I kind of think Jameis is going to impress people. I don't know. I think he's just like in the best shape of his life, and he's got LASIK, and he's
being able to see helps.
Yeah. He's also
that's a hell of a narrative right there. Being able to see.
Yeah. So I think he's coming back with a vengeance a little bit. I expect him to win this game.
Ooh, then that's. I mean, you know the Packers are probably favorites right now.
Yeah, they are.
They're something worth putting some money down on too.
They're 4-point road dogs too.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers going
road favorites.
I mean, Alvin Kamara is going to have a huge game. He's going to have a huge game.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, maybe I would do Kamara, Juwan Johnson, Rodgers, Adams. Because if you don't feel good about Callaway,
never been before, put you up if I could talk. Girl, I made you meet him all. You said you left your ex, that you was always gassing. You said before me, you ain't never been this happy. You took a L with him and went in ever since. You in my phone, I'm on my way, I cancel plans. I'll be on the way. I'll be on the way, and you can beat me in 5. I'll be on 9, I'll be on all day.
So Jair Alexander.
I'll be on all day. Put it in 5, I'll be outside. I'll be on the way.
Dave Callaway.
I'll be on the way, and you can beat me in 5. I'll be on 9, I'll be on all day.
Winston, he might lead good drives. He's gonna throw touchdowns.
Trying to make a move tonight. I got the time. Tell me what you wanna do.
on
like
their own, I
talking
only
about
got room for
So
two.
with Wes Watkins,
From the jigs on the set, it's a Porsche, not a jet. I confess, I'm a flex to show some respect. Get away so we can make sense of your life. You wasn't proud, but I just put your shit in drive now. Coast, like there's no tomorrow.
guys.
Moving too fast, I'm hoping to drive slow. I don't want you to wonder where I go. You earn a lot from this, and it's something that I know. Put it in five, I'll be outside, I'll be on the
Marquez
way.
Callaway
I'll be on the way, you can meet me in five, I'll be on
that's our
the
Texas
I'll
back
be
game.
on the
Play tomorrow.
I'll be on the Put it in five, I'll be outside, I'll be on the way. I'll be on the way, you can meet me in five, I'll be on the I'll
It's
be
so much
on
time
the
Montgomery, even though he's gonna have a good game.
I'll be on the
Said to David about time.
Alright, man. Well, it's been nice catching up. Like, hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yeah,
Stay
I'd love to
out
try to
there,
get
man.
it done weekly. Yeah, you too.
all right.